So welcome everyone. My name is Taurus the Legend. Thank you so much for joining us in our SAP BTP ongoing Customer Value Network series. Today we're bringing you a webinar series in collaboration with our partner Inshore, rapid implementation and fast time to value with BTP and BPI Starter Packs. We have a great agenda lined up for you today. Starting us off, Mr. Ivo Bauerman, Senior Vice President, Head of Customer Value at SAP Platforms and Technologies, will give us his keynote. And then once Ivo is finished his words of welcome, Mr. Sharad Agarwal, Director of CE Alliance Programs and Customer Success at Inshore, as well as Mr. Sandeep VS, Associate Director, Digital Innovation for North America at Inshore, will be giving us their session, Rapid Implementation and Fast Time to Value with BTP and BPI Starter Packs. And this is where they're going to demonstrate the go live quick, reduce payback period, monetize investment, fund subsequent high-value business use cases, and several others. Following their session, my colleague Andreas Hirsche, Product Director at SAP BTP Architecture Enablement, will be covering accelerating the speed of innovation with SAP Business Technology Platform, and he'll also be providing you some resources for your success, namely in the SAP Help, SAP Community, and most importantly, the SAP Discovery Center. As you all know, you guys are all plugged into the SAP BTP Customer Value Network. So if you want more information, I will be providing this presentation in our microsite after this event, where our recording and all of the material that you're going to see today will be uploaded right after the webinar is done. Just as part of the customer CVN, BTP CVN community, our last and final webinar series for 2021 will be held on December the 8th and 9th. So this is really sort of a capping off of the year with questions from you, our customers and the participants. So it's a two-day coffee corner webinar series where the first day we're going to be focusing on your questions around integration and process innovation. And then on the second day, we're going to be focusing on intelligent technologies, namely IRPA, workflow management, and data extraction. So if you're interested, I will be putting the link in the chat during the session. Also, as some of you may already know, that our Garage series just concluded our 2021 agenda sequence. We are currently working on our 2022 sequence. So on episode 1, create a custom mobile app to extend HR capabilities, will be presented on January the 12th in both main time zones, so we get full coverage of everyone. This is where you get a little bit more hands-on information, so to speak, looking under the hood, where you can get some hands-on enablement, some expert guidance. Each episode will focus on the SAP Discovery Center mission. Andreas will cover this a little later in his session, give you a little bit more in-depth as what the Discovery Center is. The link is going to be provided as well, so if you guys are interested in joining us there, you're most welcome. And then our monthly calls are continuously ongoing, so if you haven't plugged in there, please do register yourselves. And with that, I'll just hand it over to Ivo. Ivo?
Thank you, Taurus. Let's swap screens here. All right. Welcome, everyone, to this session. Today is all about speed and innovating fast with SAP's Business Technology Platform. And I have the privilege to head up business development and customer value for Platform and Technologies. And I can tell you, these are exciting times for BTP. This is one of the strategic components to SAP as a company. It is the foundation for almost everything we do. It is the foundation for all of our SAP applications. It is the foundation for our innovation. So this is getting quite a significant amount of investment, as you will see later on. So what I will do is share with you our vision, give you a little bit of a summary of the latest and greatest on BTP and I'll share with you the latest announcements if you weren't there, from TechEd. I'll summarize that for you. And then I'll hand it over to Sharad and Sandeep from Inshore to talk to you about some practical values of implementing BTP and doing this fast. And then Andreas has a great session on, sharing some best practices with you, giving you some real insights, some inspiration on how to get started. So before we do that, just to emphasize why we're doing this. This is really to strengthen the community. So thank you for being part of this. As a customer, as a partner, we highly value your participation and we highly value your feedback. Later on, I will share with you some statistics from TechEd that will show you how big this community is and how much we're listening to your feedback. And this is really about us building the technology to help companies digitize their business. And we've come a long way. SAP has been doing this for a long time, as you know, automation, in the 80s, from client server to internet computing to mobility in-memory computing, movement to the cloud. And now we're at this point in time where we're looking to digitally transform businesses. And this is a pivotal moment, because this is not just about digitizing your core ERP or your CRM or your HXM system. What we're finding is that this goes beyond all of that in order to gain a competitive advantage. This is really about innovation around your core to find new user experiences, to find new business models, to drive business value. And that's why our vision for digitization is composed of 4 main components. One is, this is all about being business-centric. SAP has always been the business company, has always been the business process company. So everything we do from a technology standpoint is in service of driving business value and helping optimizing business processes. Second, this is all about connecting to all of the data that you need in order to get insight into your business, to optimize your business processes, wherever it resides and in whatever type it is being composed. So we know that, unlike in the past where SAP was holding almost every data you had, this is now a time where, although we still have a significant portion of data in ERP and CRM, in HR, in finance, and what have you, there's a lot more data out there. So we help you get connected to that. You don't have to move it all into one place, but you can certainly stream, connect, and live, bring data into your view. Third is, we augment the hyperscalers. We know that many of you are using hyperscalers to run your infrastructure, which is great. This is what we leverage. In fact, we can help you if you have a multi-cloud strategy. If you're using a combination of hyperscalers, we can help you bring that together, again, to help optimize your business and optimize your business processes. And in that sense, we're really closing the gap between that infrastructure and technology and the business processes. And last but not least, our vision is to standardize your core while you're innovating the edge. And what this means is that helping you automating most of your standard business processes like we've always done, but also as you're moving, as many of you are moving your core ERP and your core business applications to the cloud, making sure that you could start with a very clean core, moving those customizations that you have developed that are still significant, but maybe removing the ones that are redundant or no longer in use. And in addition to that, help innovating where it makes sense and where you can create competitive advantage. And by doing that, you can really achieve progressing business value, all the way from automating your business processes to augmenting your decision-making with planning and analytics, even making the data itself your product, which is what we see a lot of companies doing today, all the way to transforming customer experience and even inventing whole new business models. And that's why we have brought all the critical components, all the critical services that you will need to do that in one unified platform. And that is what we call the business technology platform. And as I said, this is really business-centric. This is augmenting the hyperscalers. This is connecting to wherever the data resides. And this is helping you standardize your core while innovating the edge and creating competitive advantage. So you will find components for database and data management, analytics and planning, application development tools, data integration tools, and intelligent technologies to bring artificial intelligence and machine learning into your business processes. And we've done this quite successfully. And we've also been very committed to this. We know that we've evolved through this if you've been with us for some time, but this is really a firm commitment all the way from our executive board and our supervisory board that this is the foundation. And therefore, if we look at what we have done since TechEd last year, 2020, we have significantly delivered on our promise. We have delivered over 1,100 roadmap items. So you will find a lot of new components in BTP, a lot of cleanup, a lot of convergence of tools. And also what you will find is that we have created great success in the market. Over 25,000 customers are running on BTP Cloud. 22,000 partners in over 140 countries are supporting BTP with over 2,000 pre-built content packages, as we will see later on with partners like Inshore that offer great value right out of the gate, and to help you gain that value in a much shorter time. And speaking of TechEd, we recently concluded TechEd 2021, and it was a great success. If you weren't there, many others were. Over 5,000 companies and almost 40,000 attendees. And these were all non-SAP employees. These are all external partners and customers alike. We had almost 1 million replay views in addition to the live views of our sessions. And we had more than 3 million Channel 1 live views. This was a channel running over the course of TechEd where you could tune in. And we had more than 3 million people tuning in over the course of the day, over the course of TechEd. Now, this gives you a sense of how big this community is, and also, you know, how much of this goes into our, you know, shaping of our roadmap. And that's the reason why we had some great announcements. Jürgen Müller, as we can see here, our executive board member for this area, talked about, you know, several things, mainly around 4 areas. One, he talked about how everyone can be a developer. And this was really about us unifying the low code and no code environments that we have. And with that, we can empower 230 million cloud end users by giving them no code capabilities. Anyone can be a developer. And that means, you know, over 200 million end users can do some form of developing. And that's really helping close the skill gap in many respects. And that's with the recent acquisition that we did with AppGyver. That is a no-code platform. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is phenomenal. There's already 100,000 developers already using it. Jürgen also talked about Business Application Studio. We have added a new low-code approach to that existing environment. And we also unified process automation into this environment as well with RPA and workflows. Second, Jürgen talked about composable and enterprise solutions. Specifically, you know, 2 things that stood out. We have an ABAP environment now in S/4HANA Cloud. Yes, ABAP is still alive, but now with a dedicated cloud development environment, which means that you can build, you know, those extensions that do require a very tight integration with S4. So this is in addition to all the low code and no code development tools that we have offered to drive, you know, more innovation around the edge. Also, what we have announced is a BW Bridge, extending all your BW on-premise with Data Warehouse Cloud. So in very high demand, and also giving a great opportunity to continue to leverage your investment in BW while utilizing the advantages of new innovation in the cloud that we have with Data Warehouse in the cloud. Third, embedded AI offerings across the portfolio. This was really about AI Core and AI Launchpad that will help you manage your AI operations and life cycles. And then last but not least, a free tier BTP, which was you know, in very, very high demand, you know, from our community. So thank you for that feedback if you were part of that. But this really helps everyone get easier to get started with BTP, to explore, try the services. And once you've built something, moving into production. And this is available to customers, partners, and even individual developers. And not only that, we've added some very significant services to it as well into this tier. We've added HANA Cloud. HANA Cloud is part of this as well as the full integration suite. Now, there you go. You can do so many things with this, as you will also see later on from Inshore, who can help you with streamlining that. And in order to get started, I really encourage everyone, to go to the Discovery Center. This is where you can find all those services that I mentioned before that are part of the BTP platform that will help you drive these innovations. And there's really some great missions to guide you. There's predefined steps. There's a lot of pre-configuration to help guide you towards these services. And Andreas will talk more about this, giving some very practical tips how to get started. So you do not want to miss that. And then, as I said, partners like Inshore, have even gone a step further. Based on BTP and available services, they actually packaged it up, as they will tell you, in services where you can determine how fast you want to have this. So it's not just about what do you want, but how fast do you want this? And they've packaged it up, and we'll talk to you about that. So, as I said, exciting times for BTP. This is the foundation for SAP as a company and SAP applications, and therefore for you as part of the community, the foundation for your innovation, so that you can accelerate the speedier innovation and achieve fast time to value. So with that, I will hand it over to Sharad, to talk about their great starter packs. And then later, Sandeep will give you some more information, and Andreas will close it out with some very practical tips. So with that, let's get started. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ivo.
Thank you so much, Ivo. I'll just quickly share my screen.
Yes.
Please let me know once.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. Oops, so sorry about that. Yep. So thank you, everyone. My name is Sharad Agarwal. I am the Director for Alliances and Customer Success. And I would like to thank every one of you, on behalf of SAP and Inshore for your time today. Before we dive deep into the SAP the BTP Starter Pack, I would just like to take a few minutes to, kind of introduce Inshore to you guys. So we are, provider of enterprise, digital applications and products for our customers. We have been in existence for the last 15 years, delivering, digital solutions to our SAP customers, which has actually, kind of percolated into Cherrywork, which is, a suite of, digital applications built on SAP BTP. Right now, we have close to 100 digital applications in our Cherrywork portfolio of applications. We have had humble beginnings. We started with 6 people in 2006, and we have grown from strength to strength. And right now, we are a team of 600 passionate employees. The industry verticals where we are more focused on right now is manufacturing, consumer goods and retail, energy, natural resources, and life sciences. We have a global footprint with our headquarters in Bangalore, and outside India we have a delivery center in Calgary, Canada. If you have been actually following the SAP Innovation Awards, then you might know that Inshore won 2 innovation awards back to back in 2019 and 20 for the fantastic work that we did for Murphy Oil. And I would really recommend and highly, encourage you to visit the website, for more details. On the right side, the bottom right, it gives a glimpse of the partnerships that we have. So we have a partnership with Signavio, which is the business process intelligence, application, the platform, which Sandeep is going to cover after my, segment. And then we have also a partnership with Tricentis. And we are also a member of the SAP App House Network, which is focused on design thinking. And we actually have a design studio in our Bangalore facility. So moving on, what is really Cherrywork? So Cherrywork is probably the largest suite of digital applications and extensions, which are built on top of the SAP BTP, right? So it is based on all the experiences that we have had, building digital applications, for our SAP customers. And it is built on top of the enterprise core systems of SAP, such as SAP ECC, S4, SAP Cloud platforms like Ariba and SuccessFactors. So if I would like to just draw your attention to the middle of the screen where you see the enterprise core processes. So typically, the SAP products and platforms, they cover 80% of these processes, and Cherrywork aims to, cover the rest of the 20%. So Cherrywork brings in a lot of automation, a very high degree of automation in our, solutions, and we call it hyper automation of the edge processes and the last mile, automation. Some of the value propositions of Cherrywork is due to a very, very high amount of reusability. There is a rapid time to value that you can derive from Cherrywork because it is built on the SAP BTP. So there is a out of the box, integration with all the various, SAP products and the platforms, right? Also, we have built the Cherrywork solutions applications in a way that they actually sit as extensions on top of your the core systems, and that way you can implement them, get the value out of the applications without having to disturb your digital core. And last but not the least, owning a Cherrywork is a the total cost of ownership of Cherrywork is very, very low, especially in Cherrywork apps as a service. So moving on, so this is another view of our Cherrywork, prepackaged applications and digital applications. So the ones that you see in blue are basically the LOB solutions, where we have solutions for various LOBs like HR, finance, procurement, sales, and also the ones that you see in green are actually the industry cloud validated applications. For example, pipeline analytics is focused, mainly for the oil and gas industry. Advanced metering analytics is for the utilities. Proof of delivery and in-store perishables management is targeted towards retail customers. So out of all these applications that we have, there are 12 of them which are actually available on the SAP store, and we are constantly, in the process of adding more and more, applications on the SAP store. So now let's deep dive into the BTP Starter Pack. So before I begin with the challenges, there is a poll question that we would like you to answer. I just take a 20 seconds, and it'll be really appreciated if you can provide your responses. So far we don't see anybody, anyone answering or taking the poll. So I'll highly encourage everyone to take the poll so that we can get some good insights out of the polls. So the question is basically, what is the major challenge in activating your BTP services? So there are three options: understanding of BTP services, use cases with BTP services, or complexity and cost. I guess, Toros, we can probably end the poll as we are not getting any responses. Okay, let's look at the challenges that are faced by our customers, which actually prompted us to come up with the BTP Starter Pack, right? The first one being that a lot of customers have the BTP CPEA license agreement, but they really don't know where to start. And also SAP these days is bundling the BTP with the RISE offering, and a lot of times the customers are not even aware that they have BTP. So because of that, the customers are not able to use BTP, and it ends up as shelfware. So the other challenge with the customers face is basically with respect to setting up the account or activating the BTP services, or even knowing which services to activate optimally. Given that BTP provides a vast variety of products and services, it can actually become mind-boggling for somebody who really does not understand or has the experience on BTP to be able to use it optimally. The third challenge, what we have seen, is with respect to the customers being unsure of the use cases that they should use, basically to start with, to establish the ROI of BTP quickly and to garner support, and that can actually help them to garner support in their organization, right? And the fourth one, I mean, this is common across the board. Like, every customer today they want to develop innovative solutions rapidly, to stay ahead of the competition. And that basically means, that the implementation cycles have to be shorter, and which essentially in turn means that, they need to have access to some, market tested, innovative, reusable, solutions. So, in order to take care of these challenges, we came up with the BTP Starter Pack offering. So what does it really offer? It offers a great start to our customers who are ready to leverage BTP services to accelerate digital innovation in their organization. And there are two aspects to the BTP Starter Pack that we offer. The first one is the activation services, which is essentially, laying the foundation to be able to, utilize the BTP services. And second is really the implementation service, which is the implementation of the use cases to derive quick value out of BTP. Let's look at each of these services in a little bit more detail. So the activation services, the basic building blocks of the activation services are global accounts, directories, sub-accounts, and entitlements. On the right side, we have given an example of how the whole hierarchy looks like. It's a kind of a 3-tier model. So global account represents the contract that a customer has with BTP. It helps to, basically manage the activations and the consumption, at a global level. Then we have the directory, which helps to organize and manage the sub accounts based on the, the business or the technical, challenges. Then sub accounts, it kind of subsumes the apps, the services, and the subscriptions, and helps to set up the global account. And the entitlements are basically the, the applications which the users are actually permitted to use as part of the contract. So the process for activation involves, the first and foremost thing is to start with the use case, and then, diving deep into the use case, analyzing the use case to determine which services that needs activation, what are the sub accounts required, and what kind of regions to be considered. And as a third step, we start with the setup and the activation of the services, so which involves creating the sub accounts, the region, and assigning the entitlements. And at the end of it, we add the users and we activate them so that they can start consuming the services. So typically, the activation services go hand in hand with the implementation services, and we can actually work together with SAP to help the customers, activating the BTP license. Moving on to the implementation services. So this is where really the rubber meets the road, and where, we implement the use cases, for our customers. So we have broadly classified the use cases into simple, medium, and complex. In terms of complexity, delivered over 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and 6 weeks. Like, for example, the 2 weeks, as you guess, it's mainly for the simple use cases, such as, we help the customers build, say, one bot use case with one system using IRPA, or one chatbot, using conversational AI. We also provide a lot of prepackaged content, like intelligent task management, collaborative order management, resource management. So these are really prepackaged content which can be delivered very, very quickly, to the customers, and they kind of take care of quite complex applications, but they can be delivered fast because it's all reusable and prepackaged. Similarly, for in 4 weeks time, we can deliver some medium complexity use cases which go depth, either in depth to each of the BTP services, or cover in terms of the complexity. And then again, in 6 weeks, it's again the same. So there are some services like Data Warehouse Cloud or HANA Cloud, which require a minimum of a 6 weeks duration to be able to deliver a reasonable use case. So basically, these are the various the implementation services as part of that we provide as part of our starter pack. So what is really the value proposition of our BTP Starter Pack? So these are really short projects, ranging from 2 weeks to 6 weeks, and it allows you to implement use cases fast and see the real value of establish the value of BTP, right? And also these are very low investments. Our starter packs are anywhere less than $50,000. So, and we have kept it that way so it becomes easier for the customers to also kind of, garner that budget within the organization. The third one is we are actually solving real business challenges through our starter pack, and we are addressing real pain points. So that way, it is easier for the customers to get the most out of their investment, as well as garner support within their organization for a wider acceptance of BTP. Right. And the last but not the least is the reusable prepackaged content that we offer through our Cherrywork, digital applications and the reusable integration content. So this allows us to make the implementation cycles shorter. And going back to the the innovation point that I mentioned about the challenges, it helps the customers to basically innovate faster. So in essence, all these work together. In the BTP Starter Pack works together to provide a rapid time to value to our customers. So I would like to cover a couple of customer success stories, that we had with the BTP Starter Pack. So one of the engagements that we started, with the BTP Starter Pack is the Murphy Oil engagement, where we actually took some small. We implemented small applications which were targeted to a particular use case, right? So this was mainly done to, so in 2 weeks' time, we implemented a document management service with some simple, less number of, services. And the use case was really, to reduce cost for HANA on-premise, for the customer. From there, we moved on to another application called the digital field ticket, which was a little bit more complex. But in this, we were able to reuse our prepackaged content, the intelligent task management, some of the features of that to kind of, shorten the implementation cycle. And this was again targeted for a particular use case, which was to digitalize the paper-based ticket system to, get faster processing and avoiding revenue leakage. Then, after that, we implemented a little more, complex application, which is the easy time writing, which involved having a one single UI to talk to success factors and ECC for ease of cost recovery. So all these, were implemented. I mean, we started it off with the starter pack, and the customer really got to see the value of the BTP, and then they really doubled down on their investments on BTP, and all these applications were then used as building blocks to build a larger platform called the Intelligent Maintenance and Operations Platform, which helped to improve, say, work order, job queues, give them real-time visibility, among other benefits. So the second customer success story that I would like to cover is Packard. So here the approach was a little different. So we did not, start with the implementation of the applications per se, but it was more, to start with very simple, kind of UI scenarios. So in 2 weeks' time, what we started off with, we built a supply screen to submit request, and it had one workflow and 2 business rules. So when they saw the value of it, they tried to extend the functionality by implementing 2 workflows and 1 schema on the HANA, and then they invested further on another BTP Starter Pack, where we implemented the integration suite service to integrate it with the on-premise systems, and also implement 2 additional screens. So again, the customer was able to see the value pretty quickly, and this actually led to a much larger project where they built the unified supplier portal completely on the BTP with the other SAP applications like transport management, GTS systems, and all. So some of the benefits which Packard was able to drive from this is real-time collaboration between suppliers and internal teams, route optimization, and shipment notifications. So you can really see the power of the BTP Starter Pack and how it has actually helped in driving adoption and consumption within some of our customers. So I would also like to touch upon the prepackaged content and how it plays a role in the whole the BTP Starter Pack context. So basically the whole of Cherrywork portfolio that we have almost all of them can be actually used as pre-packaged content to drive innovations, or also can be implemented as part of the BTP Starter Pack, as you have seen. So here we'll cover, I would like to dive deep into this intelligent task management application. It is nothing but a digital age task, process, and work management solution. So it provides an unified inbox to the users from where they can actually plan their tasks and also execute the business processes and the workflows. And it also comes with intelligence inbuilt, where it automates some routine business tasks and helps to deliver more productivity for the users. One of the advantages of the ITM tool, the ITM application, is it has a lot of pre-built templates and integration with various enterprise applications, both SAP as well as non-SAP. So you can actually so the other advantage is that you can easily bring it within your context, within the solution, and you can integrate it with one say enterprise application, and you can actually get started. And it can actually be, the other advantage is that it can be scaled both horizontally and vertically, so you can add more and more number of users so who can get the benefit out of this application. Whereas once you have established the value with say one application, you can extend the functionality of the item to basically cover other ERP applications. So what you see here, so it is actually a mobile based, and it is available on iOS, this application. And here you can see a screenshot of this application, and at the bottom you can see the enterprise applications with which it readily integrates. So, I just want to cover this Murphy oil story that we have, in the context of ITM. So what you see here depicted is the adoption and the consumption story of Murphy oil for BTP, right? And how ITM has actually played a key role in driving the adoption and consumption at Murphy oil. So as you already have seen, like the BTP Starter Pack was one area which we started, and then we also implemented the ITM for field operators, which was integrated with just one application with some limited set of users. When they saw the value of it, they expanded the ITM and to integrate it with other ERP systems. And once the customer got the confidence, they actually doubled down on the BTP, on the BTP, and then they actually implemented a lot of functionality. We have actually so far implemented almost 45 applications for them, and one of the flagship project that we did was the migration of MuleSoft to Integration Suite. So that is one of the highlights of this engagement. So I would like to end my segment with a poll question. I'll really appreciate if you can actually participate and answer. Take time to answer the questions.
So it seems, Sharad, that there was an issue with the poll. I just want to see if there's an, okay, it looks like it's coming in now.
Yeah, now it is coming.
So if you want, we can relaunch the other poll again.
Yes, sure.
Before you sign off. So.
Yes, Taurus, that will be a good idea. Thank you. They're still coming in. So thank you everyone for that. Yeah, Taurus, I guess we're done. So thank you everyone for participating in the poll. We'll just put, so Taurus will put another poll that we, yeah. Taurus, would you like to bring it up?
Yes, I'll bring up the first poll. Do you guys see it?
Yeah. So this question is about what is the major challenge in activating your BTP services? Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we see quite a uniformity. So for those who are not able to see, the poll results, there's a tie between understanding of the BTP services and the use cases with BTP services. So 40% of the respondents have chosen those two options, and the last one is the complexity and the cost. So this one actually quite well resonates with the challenges that we have seen with our customers, and so yeah, thank you so much everyone for your time and for listening in. So I'll hand it over to my colleague Sandeep, who will take you through the BPI Starter Pack. Over to you, Sandeep.
Thanks, Sharad. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Sharad, for the exciting presentation. I think there is a lot to learn from that. So thank you so much. So let's get started with the BPI Starter Pack. I'll be cautious about the time, but feel free to put your questions on the chat, and we can always take it up at the end and share our contact info. So on the BPI Starter Pack side, which is SAP Business Process Intelligent offering, if you move to the next slide, please. Yeah. So, let's set the context quickly, right? So for any successful business transformation, right, there are 4 key dimensions which, any organization will look for, right? And people, of course, is the heart of that, the entire aspect, right? So people are the one who run continuously, right, innovate the business processes. Now, these business processes, as you know, lives or resides into your, intelligent systems, your ERPs, your S/4HANA system, so that's where your business process reside, right? And then with these business processes which are on the system, that there is a lot of data, there's a lot of volume of data which exists, and data being, the central theme for everything. We'll talk about analytics, we talk about process intelligence, process mining, and whatnot. So how do you gain the value out of that? Is what our starter packs or SAP BPI offering is going to give you. Can we move to the next? Thank you. So now, what are some of the key challenges what we see, today with the businesses, right? And that's why these starter packs for SAP BPI as a suite offering will, going to help you, right? So number one is a misalignment, right? So there is a lot of misalignment in terms of prioritizing, who would be accountable, how do I enable the change, right? How my process looks today, Next, if you see the process and journey mapping done in the silos, right? So this is often a very common problem which you will see across your organization. And this is not something new. It's just that with the advancement of the technology and advancement of the new offerings, what SAP, has done over the past few years, and with our, vast experience in the past, this helps you, gain all those, experience and learnings out here. Lack of ownership or momentum for change initiatives. Of course, if you don't have a right tool set or a right offering in your, within your landscape, it becomes very difficult to, understand that who is owning what, right? How do I collaborate? How do I make sure that, that change initiative happens, right? Disconnected process. Of course, you have multiple processes. Again, a lot of, customers, what we see is not only SAPs, right? You can have a third-party systems as well. And all these systems are disconnected, right? So you want to bring the data into a central place and do the process mining and run process intelligence, and then look for the improvements, right? High cost. Of course, that's one key challenge for a lot of customers to not go for, such huge investment which it takes. But our starter packs make sure, that with a very thin agile form, with the use case by use case basis, you can drive the value out of it. And then finally, missing data-driven insight, which ties back to the point what I said, that there are multiple systems, but there is no central place to bring that data. Of course, thanks to the HANA Cloud and services like that, where you can massage and bring the data, and start doing your process mining and process intelligence using SAP Signavio suites and SAP Process Insights and Discovery. Yeah, if you move further, I think there is a poll which I would like you to, participate and answer, and we can give probably half a minute to that. Yeah, the question is, what do you think is your current business process challenges? And I hope everybody can, just go through it and put your answers. So it can be, yeah, I see it's happening. Okay, so I see 22, 23. Okay, it's still going on.
I think it's done.
Okay. Yep. So I see 48% have replied in terms of process gaps and silos, which is of course what we also see in our experience with various customers over the past few decades. So absolutely, process gap and silos is one thing, and that's where I think the SAP BPI offerings and our starter pack is going to drive a lot of value out of this. Missing process insights and disconnected system remains 50%, and then 15%, and then missing automation and repetitive process step, which is the second highest, is 22%. So let's talk it through, right? So let's go to the next slide. Now, what would be the need for our BPI starter pack, right? What are the top needs with the customer? What we see, right? So customers who are evaluating the process improvements, of course, if they have investments already done or they are planning to do into the BPI suite, right? So how do you get started into that adoption? Customers planning to or in the active cycles of S/4HANA, implementations, right? So that's where, the whole business transformation picture comes into place, right? Whether you are on HR or you are on finance or, you are on the manufacturing side of the house, right? We can take up one of your process, and as part of the starter packs can, start give you a quick, understanding of where are the gaps and what exists, right? Customers looking to integrate their SAP and non-SAP system. Of course, this is where our core strength also lies, like Sharad, also highlighted in our SAP BTP starter packs, right? Over these years, we have done a lot of, the integration success stories where, by leveraging SAP BTP platform using SAP CPI and STI and SLT and whatnot. So that's one advantage that you get as part of this, because it's a handshake again between, as you implement SAP BPI, you of course have to touch base, some of those aspects in terms of your process improvement. And that's where, our Inshore expertise come into place, right? Customers who are planning to play around with their actual data sets, of course, we have the discovery workshops and, the enablement phase where we allow you to bring, a small sort of data and to give you a quick insights into what is happening in your process or in your system, right? You can leverage SAP BTP for your quick process improvement, which I just mentioned. Automated rigid manual process, of course, yes. So a lot of these processes, if you see, have repetitive tasks, which again we saw 22% of the people have replied as well. For example, it can be a step which you do as part of your purchasing process, right, or a step you do as part of order to cash process. So that's where IRPA, which is a robotic process automation offering, helps you leverage and reduce the time. Can we go further to this? Thank you. So if you see here, now what are the advantages, right, if you use these starter packs, right? So number one, as I said, you gain the quick understanding of gaps, right, and into your current process. Now you gain what should be your defined target state, right? Because today you think that your process works like that, but when we go and see the data, that's not true, right? And that's where the SAP BPI suites come handy, and there are a lot of products under it, which leverage it, and our starter packs is right there to help. Integration with on-premise and cloud data sources, of course. So not that you will always have a single on-premise source or a cloud source or a non-SAP source as well at times, right? So how do you integrate and bring that data into a central place, right? How do you leverage SAP BTP services there, right? So that's what advantage you get. IRPA, which I just mentioned about, right? And our vast experience, what Inshore has got over the past decade, in some of the processes like procure to pay, order to cash, invoice management, HR management, and some of those top processes, right? And then the Cherrywork solution offering, which I think my partner Sharad also mentioned in his presentation, which is a prepackaged content which allows you to quickly monetize or quickly gain the return on your investments, right? So that's also we leverage as part of our large package, so that if we see that, hey, there is a step which I think one of our prepackaged content makes sense, why not bring it there and help customers to add the value. So in terms of our starter packs, we have divided it into t-shirt sizes, similar to what you have seen over the BTP. It's a small, medium, and large. Again, this gives you a very ballpark view here. Now, what you see here is as a small, which of course targets any one existing simple to medium process which we take with the customers, right? And we went to a discovery phase, right? It can be your ECC system or one S/4HANA system, right? As part of the enablement, we bring that data, we integrate and get that data in, right, in order to run or understand the quick process bottlenecks. And that's where I think SAP Signavio Process Intelligence does a great job, right? Then we design and simulate once you know what is a problem in your as-is process, right? And that's where you want to see that, okay, what should be my to-be process? Is this what I think? That was not. How do I make it align? What new things I should do on top of it, right? And then roll out and govern, right? So this is a quick way to, within 3 to 4 weeks, it's a quick way to, gain a deep insights into your processes and gauge, idea that, which direction I'm going and what should I do next, right? Our medium offering adds one more layer to it, which you see here is an improvement layer, a process improvement layer. And that's where, we leverage SAP BTP services in terms of, doing some of your process improvement. So whether it can be a one bot use case, using robotic process automation, right? Which I'm sure I mentioned the last, right? So that's one advantage what you get as you go to the medium, because it's not only you are enabling, you are understanding what is as is, you are driving what is to be, but you are also, making sure that is there a scope of improvement and can I improve it? So it helps you improve, one of the steps. Okay. And same on the large side, right? So large side, we have some of the add-ons which we gives on top of it because it answers a fairly complex process, right? Which is again 8 to 10 steps. And we provide monitor and support and again, add-ons, stuff like trainings and, Inshore prepackaged Cherrywork offerings, which we can run through. And we leverage, one of the non-SAP system if you want to bring it in your landscape. So this is, in a quick view of, what our starter packs on the SAP BPI has to offer. Right. Now, if you go further, right, in terms of the approach, right, in generally speaking, right, and again, the next diagram will probably give you a detail, but in general, what we see is, you start with the customer business journey mapping, right? You see what is your process 360 view. You analyze your current process, which I just mentioned, right, using process mining, process insights. You define your target processes, right? Then you sign off with the business that, okay, this is the process, which, or the improvement, right? And then you implement the new process, right? You implement the new process or the new step which you want to, right? Roll it out to the users and then work on the continuous improvement. So in general speaking, broadly, these are, some of the key steps what we see, while engaging with the customer. Now, if you go further deep down to the next one, right? Now, this is how, as part of our offering, like if I talk about a fairly, let's say a large package, right, where a customer is, making sure that he wants to not only know what are the gaps, he also want to improve it, plus he wants to also, gain value from our Cherrypack prepackaged content, sorry. So analyze, design, and simulate, improve, roll out, govern, and monitor, right? So here, if you see, right, as part of the analysis, that's the core part where you will integrate, bring your data to the central place, right, from your system logs or your ERPs, your S4HANA, right? And you will analyze that what exists today, right? As part of the design and simulate, right, you will do the simulation runs to see that, okay, what are the gaps, right? What should be my target state and what is my current state, right? And again, SAP BPI suites have, multiple products which provide you the help, in order to recover that, right? Then you implement, you want to improve on it, you roll out and govern and monitor. So this slide probably, I think, gives you a very holistic view of, how can you, leverage our starter pack and how you can gain a value. And of course, improvement is one key part what Inshore has to, offer with this Cherrywork content and, the integration capabilities what we bring out of the box. So if with that, I mean, there's another question which, I would like you to answer, that will help us gauge, where are you in terms of, this journey. So yeah, if you can bring that question up, Choros, that will be great. Yeah, so the question is, does your organization uses any process intelligence software today to improve your, various processes? Yeah, we can take 30 seconds. Yeah, I see it's going 52.9%. All right. So I see it's a tie. It's like 50-50. So 50% of the people say that their organization uses some or the other process intelligence software. 50% says they're not using it. And of course, we see this different in different webinars and different forums. But of course, we are happy to discuss further, chat further, and discuss in detail about this. So let's go further to the, I believe to the slide where, I would like to quickly touch base upon what are some of these use cases, what we have, implemented and done over the past decade by using business process management, which SAP, offers, and with, of course, SAP Signavio and SAP Process Insight and Discovery, which is a new offering, it adds a lot of value to it. It brings it changes the whole game, basically. So we have procure to pay process and sub processes, right? We have O2C process and sub processes. We have, been expertise learning a lot of sub processes like different management, invoice management, vendor onboarding, HR management, right? And again, with our Cherrywork prepackaged SAP BTP expertise, we provide, a lot of out-of-the-box prepackaged content that helps you. Here, I mean, there's a quick view of, how do we deep dive, but I will not go into a lot of detail. But of course, I'm happy to chat or, discuss, towards the chat or offline as well. So feel free to, send out your questions, and we'll be happy to answer that. And our email will be shared with you as well. With that, I think, I would like to go to the last slide, which quickly talks about a complimentary workshop, which Inshore has to offer, right? It's a quick, worth 4,000 USD. It helps you understanding your current landscape with your SAP and non-SAP system, identify your integration patterns, right? We provide you the best practices and help you make, decisions. So I believe, that is a good value add if, you want to go through it. I think I'm good with that, Toros. So yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks for everyone's time.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. Thank you, Sharad. I'd like to know if you have any questions for either Sandeep or Sharad, please do continue typing your questions in the chat. We'll have some time at the end for some audio questions if you have any. I'd like to hand it over now to my colleague, Andreas. Andreas?
Yeah. Hello from Germany. My name is Andreas Hirsch. I hope you can see my screen right now.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a member of the SAP BTP Architecture Enablement team, and I would like to introduce the Discovery Center to you and also show all the ways how you can start your implementation project. I have to start with a disclaimer, so I also talk about plans and the future, and please make sure that the plans, the planned features are then already there before you start to build on top of it. I would like also to start with a question. So you as a customer, where would you as a customer start to find out what you need for your implementation project? So maybe you don't know all the SAP pages, you even don't know solutions from SAP or any SAP partner. I've put that also in the chat, or you can use this code with menti.com. Where would you start? Would you ask people? Would you visit some SAP pages? What would be your idea? So this is not a poll, so this should also work. You should see a line, an entry field on that page where you can enter a word. Taurus, are we having some issues with that? Could you check that?
No, I don't see any issues.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I see the first one, yeah, Discovery Center. That was easy. But let's say you don't know the Discovery Center. You don't know SAP products. You don't know which cloud product, for instance, you should take. Help.sap.com. I will ask my consultant. That's always a good idea. SAP websites, sap.com. Yeah, any more ideas? Again, Discovery Center. That takes too much beforehand. SAP website, we had that. Forums. Any other ideas? Let's imagine you even don't know SAP or solutions from SAP. What would you do? Who would you ask? Where would you search? On blogs, API, SAP? Discovery Center seems to be well known, so I don't have to talk it's too much here. Raise a ticket. I just seen in the chat. Contact a partner. Yeah, that's a very good idea. Forums, we had that. So I think you know already a lot of SAP pages. My business need, so start with the own business need. That's very good. It's very wise. That's unusual, really. So let's continue. I've done that multiple times. So let's say 30, 40 times, and there was never the discovery center in the middle. So that's very funny. So let's say I don't know even SAP. I don't know anything. I have no one to ask. So I personally would start with Google. And let's do that exercise maybe. And let's say I have a certain business case, a certain business need. Let's say I would like to create a chatbot to answer some questions for people around COVID, let's say. So I would go to Google and let's say I search for COVID chatbot with SAP. So, okay, I know SAP and I trust that SAP has a solution for it. And yes, the first hit here is an sap.com page talking about a BTP use case, COVID-19 symptom checker chatbot. And you can do that in parallel if you want. I hope you get similar results also in other locations. And on that sap.com page, I see some material about a use case and around chatbots to answer COVID-19 questions. So I see that use case described. I see also a solution on the SAP Business Technology Platform using the SAP Conversational AI service. And I find also success stories like more than 1,000 users have used that during the first week, and it's translated into languages. And some hospital provider had a quote and is very satisfied with that. And here I see a button below, visit SAP Discovery Center for details and implementation. So the next step, and I click on that, is I'm reaching SAP Discovery Center and I'm just on the entry screen of a use case description. And in that case, we call that here in the Discovery Center a mission. So a mission would be a use case with implementation guidance and a lot of further information and links around it. So I see here the use case, improve online patient experience using COVID-19 chatbot. I can see the current position of the customer, what is the challenge, something is required to answer questions from patients, and I see also what is the outcome, so that I get a chatbot and customers are satisfied and so on, and what is the solution. So the solution is an implementation using two services on the BTP. So in that case, conversational AI and Cloud Foundry runtime. And I can see also the costs over here. So in that case, I do business, I'm a decision maker, I have that business need. And on the other hand, I would also like to see the effort and the costs I have. So I clicked here on View Estimate. So I open the cost estimator, which automatically calculates my costs for these two services. And at the end, I can see a price for it. Coming back to my mission, I see here a project board with all the phases I need to run through doing the implementation. But in that case, as I'm the decision maker, I would like to hand over that to my architect or to my technical people. So what I can do here, I can start the mission. I have to register. I already registered. I already logged on, and I have started this mission before. So I jump in my running mission, and I go again in my project board where I can see all the phases. And now as I'm started the mission, I can also get into all the cards and all the details of that mission. So I can jump from card to card here. I can set cards to completed. And I can also involve people via email in that mission. In that case, I can involve my architect, my developer. I can also involve SAP partners or SAP people in that project. So as you can see, I now could start with Google, start as a decision maker, as a businessman, and I reach out into the implementation project. I can involve my technical people. So I have the complete end-to-end flow so far, from finding out what solution could I use until starting an implementation project. I can see also further resources. So here we reuse a lot of other documentation you also named, help.sap.com pages and so on. And I have here a support area where I can ask questions to experts. And these experts can be at SAP, and the experts also can be on at SAP partners. And I can check out all the different communities which are linked to this use case. I have here also some customer stories which help also other customers to build trust, to have trust in, and so that they know if there's another customer who has done that successfully, then it would also work for my case. And I have here also some related missions. So with similar use cases, I can jump into another mission and start it from here. Okay, so that was a jump from Google to the Discovery Center. And what we often observe is these two different types of users. So we have decision makers, business people on one side, and we have technology-driven people on the other side. How business people can use that, I've showed to you. So these people may use Google, they may use sap.com pages or help sap.com pages, or jump in into communities, and they decide, or their orientation is an SAP use case. A use case, in our understanding, describes how customers can address their business challenges by leveraging products or services from SAP and from SAP's ecosystem, meaning our partners. So when we come now from business people to technology, I just have a high-level picture of the business technology platform. And I think it's very interesting also for people, decision makers who come from on-premise, that the BTP is the right tool when they want to extend their on-premise system. So the BTP is the extension platform for on-premise systems by SAP and also by non-SAP. And it's also the extension platform for cloud systems from SAP and also from non-SAP. So with our connectors, we can connect more than 150 non-SAP services or systems. And with that, we have a really broad extension platform for SAP and non-SAP systems. And this is built on top of the integration suite. So this is a connectivity to various different systems, and very often the SAP systems like S/4HANA or SuccessFactors are integrated with BTP. We offer business services and have built the BTP on the multi-cloud foundation, meaning the hyperscalers we use to run the platform. So we talked about business and now jump into technology. How would some technical user find, oh, my browser disappeared, to open it again. How would a technical user find resources or documentation or services they need? So my browser's just restarting here. I go back to Discovery Center, and I open the main screen first. So when you enter Discovery Center, and by the way, you should also be able to just Google Discovery Center without SAP. At least this works from here, if the browser works. And let's check that. So using that with SAP, now first hit Discovery Center is SAP Discovery Center. And when I go in here, I have to register first. So I'm here already registered. I can log on with single sign-on. And this is the entry screen. Here in my workspace, I have all the running missions I'm currently doing. And this is also the COVID chatbot mission here. And I have areas like missions and services here. So for the business user, this is the area where all the missions are. So we have different categories like platform missions. These are the missions from SAP. And we have also partner missions here. And we have enterprise support and preferred success for the support and consulting missions. So going back to the main screen, I wanted to show you the embedded service catalog. Since last year, we have embedded the BTP service catalog as part of the SAP Discovery Center. And you can browse all your services from here. So this is a similar screen. So I have tiles for all my services and I have different categories and I can search for services. So let's say I'm as techie, I would like to look for mobile services. So I search here for mobile and I get some results. And the first hit here is the mobile services. Which, by the way, is a free tier service over here. And when I open that up, I can see all the details on the mobile service. I find very detailed information. I see also, again, some pricing information at this point of time just for the mobile service. I can simulate all the different service options. And now I can, the other way around, come to my use cases again. So via related missions, I can find some missions who are using these services. And if I click on that mission, for instance, I'm again in a mission where I can see all the other services which are used, find my estimator, see my solution diagram, and so on. When I go back, I also get some roadmap information, which is very important. for technical people so that they can see what's coming up or what's already available. And here again, I have a longer list of customer stories, so customer who wanted to share their experience with this service, with mobile services, and other customers can learn about that. Okay, so we had business people, we had technical people working with the Discovery Center. Discovery Center, by the way, was announced two weeks ago by Jürgen Müller in the Packard keynote as the place where you start your implementation for the BTP. And this gave us also some push, and we saw that many customers started missions afterwards. So what we are doing now is you named a lot of different SAP pages, and I shared my view that there are different roles and different personas using SAP and looking for information. And we now have all these different SAP pages like sap.com, service catalog, SAP store, where I can find also partner products, and pages talking about extensibility, for instance, extending S/4HANA, C/4HANA, or SuccessFactors. Whenever they talk about a use case, they link to Discovery Center. And so people can find the mission and start the implementation project from there. So this is as a summary. We are introducing the missions at the guide through your BTP-based projects. And we have missions to onboard with BTP and to do further development. You can find a lot of learning content. So we have connected or linked learning resources. And yeah, this is done based on best practices by us and also by our partners. And we have automation like boosters, and you can connect to experts at SAP or at our partners. Here's just a list of all the features we are having in the Discovery Center. So beside the description of use cases, challenges, outcome, and solution, we link all the customer stories and also samples, use cases from customers. We built that as mission. And we also include landscape needs and system requirements, solution diagrams, and so on. We list all the needed services with a bill of material and the integrated cost estimator. And yeah, we reuse best practice by partners and by SAP, and include also boosters where we automate certain configuration steps across all the services which are needed for a certain mission. We offer experts from partners from SAP, and link also the specific SAP communities to these missions. And yeah, we reuse as much as possible. So the core of the mission is a use case, and whatever it needs will be linked and reused from other resources like open SAP courses, help pages, and so on. And we have features which are also interesting for partners, where we can use the Discovery Center as a project management tool, where we also have a reporting and tracking of the progress of the mission when we work across multiple missions. Yeah, talking about partners, with Discovery Center, we include a number of partner missions. And what I would like to show you is one draft partner mission from Inshore. This is brand new. I just got it yesterday, and this will be published soon. And I can give you a preview on that. So this mission is called Quicker Sell-Side and Buy-Side Price Optimization by Inshore. So we show the partner always over here. We have a great solution diagram with all the details here. And we have a long list of services which are used, and also a long list of optional services. Here we can see the preview of the project board, further resources by Inshore. And under support, we can also see in every partner mission, one contact on the partner side and one contact on the SAP side. In that case, it's me, where you can ask your questions. We have also some related missions over here. So this is a great new mission which will come up in the next days. What does Discovery Center mean for partners? So what is the offering for partners? So it might be interesting for you that the Discovery Center is absolutely for free. So there are no extra costs. So our KPI is the adoption of BTP. So this is where we live from, and there are no other costs, not for our customers and also not for our partners. And there are benefits for partners. So what we offer for partners is we offer them a pipeline so that partners can reach and can get new customers who buy their applications or partner applications in SAP Store, as well as partner consulting offerings. So this is also addressed to consulting partners. And partner and customer have direct access to implementation guidance based on best practices, and you have also access to SAP contacts and coaches who can help the customers and also you from the BTP side. And a big benefit is that we have an aligned product representation between SAP and the partner. So that builds also a lot of trust for customers. So that's the same look and feel for SAP products is also there in combination with partner products. And the tool is for free, includes a service catalog. It's flexible. You can reuse partner content, and includes reporting, price estimation, and also automation. So this is what we offer a partner. What we get from partner is great new use cases or great use cases, because partners are often closer to the customer than we as SAP. So that is what we get, and we really appreciate that. So what we also do is we promote all the missions. We show the missions to customers, and one possibility is the SAP Garage, which is also organized by Taurus, and some other colleagues are moderating that. And this is a monthly call which started this year, and in every call we show a mission end to end, and we have two calls, and one call is for the early time zone, so in our morning, and the other call for like this for the later time zone. And the garage has more than 1,000 subscribers, more than hundreds participants in each month, and more than 800 people saw the recording. And what we always see that there's a lot of this is a lot of push for our mission. So if we show such a mission, we see the day after that many customers have started the missions and are working with this use case. Yeah, beside SAP Discovery Center, we have our communities, we have helpsap.com. We link everything to each other as much as possible wherever it makes sense. There's also one blog in the SAP community, which I would like to show you. This is a blog about the new free tier model. The blog is by Nies by Neve, and how you can find out missions or how to leverage a free tier model using the SAP Discovery Center. So with that, I'm at the end of my presentations, and we have some minutes for questions, I guess, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you so much, Andreas. So if you guys have any questions for Andreas, please do unmute your line or type your question in the chat.
So I don't see questions in the chat.
So there is a question. No, that's from Sharad. So if you do, guys, if you do have a question, please unmute your line. We have some time to answer any questions that you may still have. So while you guys are thinking about the questions, I just want to take this opportunity to thank our partner Inshore, Vikash, Sandeep, Sharad, Soumya, Ravi Kiran, and Praful for their support. And without their support, this webinar would not have happened. I want to also thank my colleagues Ivo and Andreas for their sessions. They're great value add to this, and hopefully that all of our presenters answered all of your questions, maybe even raised a few, and provided some valuable insights into the BTP and BPI offerings. The contact information for my colleagues, if you want to reach either Ivo, Andreas, Niesboy, or myself, our contact information is here. I will be uploading this to our microsite and providing the link in a follow-up email to everyone. And as well, the recording for today's session, as well as the presentation material, will be uploaded as soon as this session is over. If there are any other questions, I don't see any questions in the chat. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much again. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. I hope you have a great year end, and do look at the registering for our 2 upcoming sessions this week. They will be the final ones for 2021, and we'll have a session agenda of webinars for 2022 in the coming months. Thank you so much, and have a great morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you're located.
Thanks, Doros. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, Doros. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Toros.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toros. Bye.
Thanks.